Welcome to the I Learn, Therefore I Can podcast, an iRise performance consulting production where we explore the dynamic world of performance through a learning and development lens with a focus on achieving excellence. I'm your host, Lonnie Gregory, and I'm inspired by those of you that wish to be better at what you've been asked to do. Daniel Umstead, realtor, author, resume writer, law school student, podcast host. Daniel Umstead is the founder of the Robert Nathaniel Group and operates the RNG Radio Show, a podcast for entrepreneurs which is featured on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. The podcast goes over topics such as credit repair, real estate, resume writing, and motivational tips for success. On the show, Daniel invites guests such as business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives to discuss the true meaning of success along with their services. He has conducted over 200 interviews since July 26, 2019, interviewing bankers, authors, fitness instructors, credit repair specialists, lawyers, real estate investors, and yes, even a CMOS expert. He is a first-year law student at Delaware Law School, where he is pursuing his Juris Doctorate degree with a focus on employment law, entertainment law, and real estate law. His first passion came in 2007, where his love for helping others began with writing resumes. His work includes over 1,000 revised and edited resumes, and he is responsible for employing thousands in various industries, including construction, trades, higher education, customer service, and professional and executive roles. Daniel is also a licensed realtor in the Philadelphia, PA area, brokered under Super Realty Group LLC. Daniel's goal is simple, and that is to create a million millionaires by helping others achieve their passion by having individuals promote themselves on his podcast. His mission is to create a million millionaires, and he reminds his audience continuously with "Stay blessed, my fellow millionaires." And since I'd like to be one of those millionaires, I'd like to invite you to have a conversation with Daniel Umstead. Got a special guest with me, my man Daniel. And by the way, he just recently became my man. We just met a little while ago. I joined his podcast, so we're going to learn about that. But, you know, we have connected. I've shared with you the joy that I'm experiencing in meeting new people and having conversations with new people. And he's one of the new people that I don't even know how it worked out. We just happened to connect. Daniel probably knows. We happened to connect and we talked. I was on his podcast. Now he's on this one. But you heard a little bit about his background. Again, there's so much more to know and understand about my new friend, Daniel Umstead. So, friends, here's Daniel. Daniel, thanks for joining me on I Learned, Therefore I Can. I appreciate you, my brother. Oh, one more thing. Daniel has like a nickname for me. And I didn't catch it till I started reading, like, we've been back and forth on LinkedIn. He calls me King. And that's deep. That's special. So I want to acknowledge that with you, Daniel, that you have called me that thing, and I appreciate that. Maybe you'll say a little bit about what that means to you. But how you doing today, man? How's it going?
Oh man, it's Friday afternoon. Weekend's about to get started. I'm a huge Will Smith, Martin Lawrence fan, so I'm excited about Bad Boys this weekend.
Okay.
Checking that out with the family. But overall feeling good. I don't know if people could see the sun, but the sun is beaming right on me, so it's definitely a great day. Definitely a great day.
Right. He mentioned that, friends, as we were setting up here in the studio, that here's the sign, here comes the sun, right? So amen for that. There are no coincidences. The universe does what it's supposed to do for those that are cooperating with it. I kind of believe that. But yeah, this is my new friend, Daniel Umstead. So you heard the introduction, friends. You know that Daniel is a real estate agent, but there's so much more to Daniel than that. Daniel, what else you got going on, man? Don't leave nothing out, because you shared some things with me.
Oh man, so profile wise, if somebody was just to Google my name, of course they're going to see realtor. they'll see author. I had published this co-book with a few other authors where we come together for a project. Um, Resume writer. I also, of course, as mentioned, have my own podcast. I call it a radio show, though, just for marketing purposes, and manifestation purposes.
Mm.
Soon can be a show. And then the big head that's really just going to be coming my way, which I, of course, want to deep dive further into, is me being accepted to law school. And I want to be clear about that. Me being 40 years old, going to law school. We'll definitely deep dive into that later.
Dude, that's incredible.
That's incredible.
You know, I have your support. I mean, I will support you.
Thank you, man.
So if you want to practice interrogating somebody, just give me a call. I'll be glad to be difficult or easy, whatever it is that you need to help you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, right? That's what we're here to do. So yeah, so you're in law school. All right. So we can know that you're in law school. We know that you're a real estate person. We know that you have a podcast. There are things we can understand about you if we just Google your name. Daniel, tell us something that we can't learn about you from going to your LinkedIn profile or to Google. Tell us something nobody knows that you're willing to share.
Yeah, 1000%. I think the biggest one for me is I was homeless for a brief period in my life.
Wow.
Maybe about like 7 or 8 years ago, I was living in my car. So one thing that I, typically won't put out there unless I'm talking to a fellow king or queen for that matter is, sleeping in my car. And funny story in regards to that is that my boss at the time thought that, hey, this guy just must be an early bird and love working late nights. That was just the fact that that was my sanctuary. That was my shelter, was work, because it was either there with the heat or me covered up in a blanket in my car. So what you're not going to see, of course, on the LinkedIn profile or even my resume is that, in addition, my love for Phil Abundance. So being based out in Philadelphia area, Phil Abundance provides food and services towards those who are homeless or those who may lack needs. So those two items, my love for Phil Abundance and my background being homeless, and not for too long. I know, some of the greats, Steve Harvey, Tyler Perry, they were homeless for quite some time. Mine was maybe a good season. So, but definitely a memorable season and maybe stronger. And I was actually, ladies and gentlemen, I was actually still at the time looking at law schools despite my current situation. So there was still nothing stopping me from looking ahead and saying like, okay, this is still my goal and dream in life.
I'm speechless. I'm the host. I'm not supposed to be speechless. But I didn't expect to hear that. I'm processing.
We did some prep before the call, and he's like, I didn't know you was going to say that. But it was not. I was. Figure we talked about real estate a little bit, little resume, little career, uplifting. You checked off leadership on the form, but you didn't tell me that. So, nah.
Wow. So maybe we'll get into a little bit about that. I'm sure there's some lessons that are associated with that experience. That my friends who are listening will maybe identify with, certainly understand and appreciate. But that's powerful. And considering you've mentioned some of the other greats in our kingdom, Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, having a similar experience, I can see you now being where you need to be. But and thank you, right, for sharing. Friends, before we got on the call, Daniel asked me, he said, "How you doing?" And I was like, "You really want to know?" And I shared with Daniel, because we're connected now. This has not been the greatest week for me. Lots of things have gone wrong. Many of those things have been my fault, but I recognize those things and I learned. And I owed him the honesty and the transparency when he asked the question to answer it honestly and openly. to deepen our connection, and we just went another layer in that connection with him sharing uh, his plight with me, and furthermore with you all. So these conversations get rich, and you don't even know they're getting rich, and we will prosper from them moving forward. So, dude, thank you for sharing. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So, okay, real estate, law school, real estate. What? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll first, talk about the passion where it started from. Real estate was something I've always been exposed to growing up, through a friend, maybe through a frat brother, where I heard about the concept of investing in real estate, but just really never deep dove into it. Even at the time I was going to college, I recall seeing flyers saying like, "Hey, earn your real estate license over a weekend." And I'm like, that sounds like a gimmick, or, probably somebody stealing money, or, I didn't see the folks that look like me
Mm.
in the real estate game for that matter as well. So 2018, 2019, apologize, can't recall the exact year. I'm getting old. I said 40, y'all. I came across a video about wholesale. For those that don't know, wholesaling is pretty much you come across a property, said person who's the owner says, "Hey, I don't have the money or by means to go through the whole process of selling this. I just need to get rid of it." So you have them fill out a one-page contract. Both of y'all sign an agreement, and then that contract is pretty much your deed to said property. But you sell that contract and you get a little bit of money out of it. So when I heard that, I was golden. I'm like, oh, and I don't need a license. I could just get right in. Well, and I'm pointing his name out because although we haven't connected, I do always point out he is the reason why I'm a realtor today. Chris Hofstall, I believe he's with Compass right now. When I first met him, because they said, network. I will say with any type of business that you're in, you must network with the people who you're trying to become or the people who you're trying to do business with. So a lot of what I was doing was going out, networking, speaking to people, coming across, all different walks of life. So when I met Chris and we sat down, he had asked me, he was like, "What are you in real estate for?" And I was like, "They're giving out $5,000, $10,000 checks. Why else would I be interested in, real estate and everything like that?" And he's like, "If you're in it for the money, this is going to be a quick game for you.
Mm.
You will not last." He told me specifically, "You will not last. But if you're in it for the relationships,
Wow.
if you're in it to change lives, if you're in it for generational impact," I was like, and that's why I'm shouting you out, Chris. I said, yeah. I was like, well, I eventually want to look at law school, and I'm just trying to come up with different findings to get there. And he said, if it's the relationship part, absolutely. And that wasn't the first time that I heard about it. I got my license actually on my birthday, which was great. And then I had connected with one brokerage, and the managing broker pretty much said the same thing. This is a relationship business. So as I'm developing and growing, now I know if y'all Google Daniel Umstead Realtor, Daniel Umstead Real Estate, you're just going to see my name and the trademark. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, done maybe 2 transactions throughout my whole course of 4 years of having my real estate license. But can I tell you how many connections I've made? Can I tell you that I'm being recognized for the folks that are on Netflix? Can I tell you, I almost came close, Brandon Graves. Brandon, if you hear this, for one of the gentlemen from a Netflix series that I was trying to get on my podcast. So I realized my real estate license, not so much as me, how many transactions I could do, but really that tool to get me into the room. Really that tool to have me connect with other individuals, other buyers, and building relationships. Because ultimately, of course, as mentioned, my goal is not to become this top realtor. My goal is to become this top attorney. I'm going to law school. So with law school, there's going to be different sections, if you will, that I'm going to be involved with, which for the majority is going to be contracts at the end of the day. I've been doing 15 years in HR, so employment law is going to be part of that. I love music, all types of music. So entertainment law is part of that. And then last but not least, real estate. So I'm going to be looking in real estate law. So, Lonnie, you asked me about, with law school, with real estate, it's a relationship business. So I'm always open to connect. Go to my website, shameless plugin, DanielLumstead.com,
Please
and you
do.
hit that contact button and set up a time with me. I want to talk to you, whether it's about those sections that are listed on the website, or there's a section where it says other. You fill in what you like to talk to me about. Now I'm married. I want to be clear about that. I know this face can fool folks. Like, damn, all right, well, he trying to talk. I can talk to him, but no, I'm married. So as long as it's business related or potential uplifting, I'm there to have that conversation, and you're easily able to book a time with me in order to do so. But I really want to be, not want to be, I will be that set example for others that look like us, so they can realize, like, wow, I know a Black guy that's in real estate, an author, resume writer, podcast host, and in law school. What else can he do? And he used to be homeless. What else can he do? So just giving that beacon of light, man. So I'm gonna get off the pedestal. What you got?
Man, what I got is appreciation. That's what I got. So again, we've spoken a bunch of times. We've emails on LinkedIn, sending each other messages on LinkedIn. But you don't know what you don't know until you continue the conversation. So I appreciate knowing, learning, experiencing more about you. I also appreciate your comical shout out to your queen.
Yeah.
Right? So you made it a joke. I'm married. We can't talk about that. But underneath that is, I got a queen. I'm cool. I'm set. Right?
I got somebody bringing me peace every second of the day, my Lord. Proverbs 31. If my fellow brothers and sisters under the envelope of God, if y'all know about Proverbs 31, I'm married to her. Praise be to Jesus.
Right? Preach. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Well. See, I didn't know
she
none of
deserves
this.
A shimmy.
Friends, I didn't know none of this. Daniel, like, we get on the phone. We proper. This, I think this is our first time, just keeping it like real, right? I appreciate that. Wow, that's deep. Law school. So let's just talk about law school a little bit.
Yeah,
you will definitely learn things.
1,000%.
I think though that there's something in your background, something in your experience, right? Your whole total experience that has suggested to you or led you to say, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be. What in your experience led you to conclude that my purpose lies in the practice of law?
Yeah. It's hard for me to pinpoint because there were stages. Lonnie, there were stages that got me interested in law. There was breaks where I wasn't even thinking about law school, and I'll make it short and sweet. Graduated 05, political science, got my bachelor's, and I'm like, all right, I'm off to the races. I'm gonna look at law school now. And at the time, I saw, and I'm not that old, y'all. I was able to Google and web search what it takes to be required to be a lawyer, and they were saying between 90 to 100K as far as starting salary. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. I like that. That's good. So I looked at it as that pathway, and I had said to myself at the time, I want to be one of them corporate attorneys working in the back, pushing paperwork, helping win cases, mergers, acquisitions, and make a lot of money in doing it.
I saw that movie.
Yeah. Now, mind you, I'm 21, 22 at the time with this mind frame, being selfish. Let's be clear about it. I am extremely selfish at this point. So I went for my LSATs. For those that don't know, you need to take an LSAT, which they've made changes on it, but it's not too difficult. You really just got to put the time and work in. So I took my LSAT. I failed it. I think I got 4 points higher than what the low score was. So 05, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's me stopping. That's me saying, all right, law school's out of the picture. I'm done. 2018, 2017, 2018 came around, aspirations for real estate and such, peeking into my head again. And then lo and behold, it's crazy, y'all. It's crazy how God works. 2018, around the time frame, I'm working out in Glen Mills, PA. For those that don't know, that's about maybe 10 to 15 minutes away from Wilmington, Delaware. For those who also don't know, Delaware Law School, where I was accepted at, was also 10 to 15 minutes away. So when I say my reignition of me getting interested in back in law school was Delaware Law School. So at the time, and I'm looking at like, all right, what's the requirement? I really want to get in this thing. And it clicked in my head once I got more into real estate. And I'm like, wait, you need attorneys for the real estate game? And what hurt me the most, Lonnie, is that there's 5%. There's 5% of all lawyers who are African American. And this hasn't changed in the past 10 years. So yes, I'm out here to make it look good. I'm out here to make it look sexy. So that way folks can say, oh, no, I don't want to be Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Who are these rappers out here? Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Sexy Red, whomever.
Well, see,
I want to be.
You know their names.
Right. I want to be Daniel Umstead. I want to be, the next RBG. I want to be, the next Thurgood Marshall, what have you. So I'm here as that representation, to show that. And so 2018, 2019 made me realize like, wait, I got to do this for others that look like me, that realize like, hey, now listen, don't get it twisted. I'm going to make a whole lot of money as an attorney. These bill rates is hot, between $400 to $500 an hour. So yes, what I used to make in a week, I will be making in an hour. Praise be to Jesus. Right. But, to the crux of it all is that, I'm still helping others. I'm still achieving my goals. I'm still setting out to what I'm accomplishing. So, Lonnie, you had asked me, what got you reignited in the law school? It's just that I need other Black children, other Black men and women, other Black teenagers to see that, whoa, this guy's Black and he's attorney. The attorney that was, who was it? The attorney for Janet Jackson was Black. I didn't know that. He has a whole book as far as your guide to the entertainment business. Now, I got it saved in my Amazon card, so eventually I'll purchase it. But just the fact that it's like, wait, he's Black? I didn't know that, So there's a very small population that needs to grow and continue to grow. And for those that don't know basic math, 5% of 100 is 5 people. So imagine being in a room of 100 people and you only see 5 Black faces. And I'm talking about the racial clown, the ones that look like us. So yeah, my goal and passion is that when I do graduate, when I do pass that bar, it's letting folks know that, hey, this guy pretty much up there, because I know I'm going to be adding the grades 4 years from now once I'm done law school. But adding on to that, I failed 5 times the LSAT. I want folks to realize that. I backed it up a little bit. Got the score of 129 my first time. I took the exam 4 more times. The first time I took it, I went to Franklin Marshall College, got like a 139. I took it again twice, got a 141, 143. Took it again, got the same score. And also know, y'all, I was rejected from Delaware Law School. The first time I applied, because I was thinking, well, I'm Black. They gotta accept me. It's gotta be an easy win. I got work experience. I got my master's. I got my bachelor's. They have to accept me in. But God showed me I wasn't ready. And the reason why I wasn't ready was that I got a high enough score for me to receive a scholarship. Had they let me in, I would have had to come out of pocket for the whole tuition. So, and I came at a right time. I came at the perfect time, Lonnie, because as I'm starting law school this year, my son is starting high school. So when he graduates and is looking at college or even his adult life, I'm looking at becoming this full-time attorney in my adult life of my goals and my dream. So the goal is that I want people to pull from this, because I know I was talking for quite a minute now, is that stop thinking your age is preventing you from who you are supposed to become. There was an article, this woman was 90 years old and she received her GED, 90. And she said, despite me failing, I'm still going to do it. When I did a tour recently for Delaware Law School, one of the classmates was 66. I'm 40. Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah, the young whippersnappers, as they say, 25, 27, is by all means coming in there, making that stance. But especially if you are a person of color and your passion is something that you've been thinking about since you were a kid, teenager, college, high school, what have you, continue that dream. I don't care if it's rap music. I don't care if it's that you're looking to become a doctor. I don't care if you are over 400 pounds and you want to be a yoga instructor. Man, you wouldn't believe what they allow on TV today. My Lord. So
you got a comic gig on the side too.
Listen, that I said entertainment law, so I might be out there with some jazz hands, Lonnie. So,
oh man,
but the main thing is, really identify, what your goal is, write it down, and surround yourself with it. Listen, my background image is Delaware Law School. I went around to Villanova, Rutgers, UPenn, Drexel, did the tours, took pictures, surrounded myself with that. And I'm going to tell you, it wasn't until I became obsessed with that test, I'm waking up, not to give too much business, but after coffee, some things happen, and I'm going through logical reasoning questions. Stop thinking that you don't have enough time. Y'all got plenty of time. And I want to hear, I got my kids. Listen, I had my best times of freedom when I was sleeping in my car. My best times of freedom was when I was sleeping in my car because of the fact that that's all I had was sleep in the car. Now, I had a charger port that could have plugged in the phone. At the time, Google and the internet was still around. YouTube University is always going to be available. But stop limiting yourself. I really want folks to realize that. Stop limiting yourself.
Stop limiting yourself. Friends, sometimes you just got to take a moment. I'm glad this is recorded so we can rewind and hear some of this again and again. You failed the LSAT 5 times. My partner said something one evening. We were talking. I still have it written here. It says, chasing the best while feeling your worst is what you got to do. And that's what you've done. My partner, she also said, you got to get it wrong long enough so you can get it right. And you did that too. You like the poster boy for what this show is all about.
It's going to be a Lonnie Gregory show, and it's just going to be in my face like, like, is that Lonnie? No. He's just there for marketing.
That's Daniel. That's Daniel, y'all. Fascinating. But I do want to rewind. I wrote something down while you were talking. You said something about being selfish.
Yeah.
This is a really good time to take a break. Actually, I'm just going to call this part 1. Come back and listen to part 2. Listening to I Learned, Therefore I Can, an iRise Performance Consulting podcast.